New Orleans Saints versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Week 18 preview with Mike Florio and Chris Sims. Ladies and gentlemen, contrary to popular belief, there is a Saints game this weekend. I look around YouTube and it sounds like the season's over. I look around YouTube and every Saints content creator is on to mock drafts and can Abdul Carter save the Saints defensive line? And, look, listen, I know we're excited about the offseason. I know this year has not been fun for the New Orleans Saints, but ladies and gentlemen, we still have 3 hours of football to enjoy come Sunday. No implications for the Saints. Their season has been over for the better part of a month now. But the Bucs, huge implications. The Bucs have to win, and they certainly should win. They certainly should embarrass us and completely dominate the New Orleans Saints. Mike Evans also has a huge incentive. I believe it's like 5 catches, 80 yards or something like that for $3 million. So a couple things to watch. I would assume, I'm filming this before the weekend, so the final injury report is not out yet, but I would assume we're going to see Spencer Rattler, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, all the guys that we thought would be starting Week 18 before the season. So I would start CEH. I mean, I think he's the starting running back. I think he's, and I don't say this isn't hyperbole, as some of my friends would say, but I think CEH is the best player on the team, on the offense right now. I mean, that's insane. That is absolutely insane to say. But who would you have ranked higher than him, right? Like, are you going to say Kevin Austin Jr. or Dante Pettis or Foster Moreau, who has to move heaven and earth to get 3 catches? Is it Jawan Johnson, LOL? Is it Kendra Miller, get out of my face? Is it Jordan Mims? Is he still on the team? All right. Is it MVS battling RSV? A chest cold has really got MVS hurting. So, I mean, it's going to be more of the same again. I don't think the Saints have much of a chance to win. I don't know why. Bucs have everything to play for. The Saints have nothing to play for. The Saints are playing with the 5th and 6th players on the depth chart. More than likely, Darren Rizzi's last game. The question is, will this be Clint Kubiak's last game? Clint Kubiak obviously will be really, really, really on the razor's edge there, where if the Saints go with an offensive-minded head coach or if they go with the head coach who wants to bring in his own staff, then Kubiak will be gone pecan. And sometimes that's just doing business.
It's Buccaneers. Tampa Bay favored by 13.5 with an over-under 43.5. The Bucs win the division if they win the game or if the Falcons lose to the Panthers. And the Bucs can be the number 3 seed with a win and a loss by the Rams, who aren't going to start Matthew Stafford at quarterback. So the 3 seed is there for the taking for the Buccaneers if they can beat the Saints. Do you believe they will?
I do. Of course I do. The Saints are another team. It feels soft tank. I don't think we're going to see Derek Carr. They're not going to let that happen. I don't think they want to win the game. They don't want to deal with any of that. The Bucs, desperate, offense on fire. On fire. Baker Mayfield's definitely playing the best football of his career.
Yeah, bad news for the Saints. The Buccaneers are right now firing on all cylinders. Like Baker Mayfield threw 5 touchdowns last week. I think he leads the league in touchdown passes. Got a 40 somewhere right around there. But I don't have my notes in front of me. I also don't have notes. All I have right now is a couple of these damn Surging Sparks Pokemon cards. That's all I got in front of me, ladies and gentlemen. I've been getting back into the card game. Been getting back into the card world. It is a sickening hobby, I'll tell you that much. But I love the hell out of it. So just what I needed, right? Just what I needed was another vice. So when I'm not gambling on college basketball and hockey and whatever, I can be cracking Pokemon packs and playing the market. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, Baker's playing insane. Evans is playing good. Like I said, he has the incentive. There's no reason that the Buccaneers don't. Now, the only thing I'll say is that, the Bucs have to win. They don't have to win by 14. I'm not saying to go take the Saints. Do not go take the Saints. Do not bet on this game. Take Mike Evans props. But people do kind of get that mixed up where it's like, okay, they have to win, so they'll win by 50. It's like, well, they'll probably win by a comfortable margin and then pull starters. Like 14 is not really like what I would call a comfortable margin. But if they're up 21 with, 4 minutes left, probably even higher than that. They're going to pull starters. This is not going to be one of those things where it's 52-0 because they keep their players in the entire game.
Mike Evans and the incentives of that with the 1,000 yards and all of that, I think motivates their football team. Yeah, the playoffs being on the line. Their offense has arguably been the most explosive offense in football over the last 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah.
The running back is as hot as anybody. We're seeing other people contribute in their passing game and do all that. Yeah, I think this is a big-time Buccaneers win here. I'm going to go 34-13.
I've got 35-17. We're getting dangerously close.
How the hell are we scoring 17 points? I think 35-17 is a great performance for the Saints. 35-17 might be the best offensive performance the Saints have had in weeks. I mean, the thought of us scoring 17 points against the Buccaneers is absolutely shocking. How the hell is that going to happen? 2 trick plays and a field goal? Two trick plays and a trick field goal? I mean, how are we doing this?
Close to bingo bango.
Are you just like going to pick? This is the time of the year where you're
listen.
You're protecting your lead. Okay.
Don't do this shit again.
Hey,
don't do it again.
I'll do it.
I got them all right here. I got them all right. But you're questioning my integrity. I got enough people that I got to worry about. Oh, you're making shit up. I'm not going to take it from my friends because I wouldn't do that to you. I've got them all right here. I made all the picks and I've given all the scores. I can take a screenshot and send it to Gary. I ain't fucking around. These are the games I picked.
What is going on here? What is going on? Is Mike in his WWF Attitude Era edgy era? Is that what's going on here? He goes on Pardon My Take a few times and hangs out with Big Cat and PFT, and all of a sudden he sounds like a 13-year-old who figured out what cuss words were for the first time. And what's happening here, Michael? Jesus.
And these are the way I picked them. Now, do you really think I was going to take the Saints to win? I was going to apply the caveat that what happened in New Orleans yesterday, there were some comments from Tyrann Mathieu. We represent the city, and will this give them
extra juice?
Some sort of I think it's just like the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. I just don't think they've got the firepower to go out and beat the Buccaneers when the Buccaneers have the division title in hand. They're 4th in a row in hand. The only thing I worry about, I look back at the Buccaneers games this year.
Right.
I mean, you never know.
Is this the one that
when
they
they're
go
step in shit?
Yeah, I know. Right.
And every time you think, hey, here
they go. Right.
Yeah. Then there they go. And the most recent.
Why the hell would this be the one? Like this is not exactly the trap game. This is not exactly the letdown spot. This is the must-win, one more game, get across the finish line, and you get what you're playing for. Like this is not the game for that to happen. That absolutely can happen. You can absolutely in the middle of the season have a letdown game where all of a sudden you lose to a team you shouldn't have lost to because you're looking ahead or whatever, a scheduling spot, but not this. This is pretty, this is pretty easy when it comes to what the Bucs have to do. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think this would be – there's no reason this would be a scheduling spot or like a bad, mixed motivation or a letdown or anything like that.
Time it happened, the Cowboys game. Like, the Cowboys aren't playing for anything. They had just been eliminated earlier in the day, and the Buccaneers blew that game and put themselves – they go from driver's seat to back seat. And they needed the Falcons to lose last week to get back in the driver's seat. Now they're back in the driver's seat. And it's like,
what I will say, though, about these games, if you're looking to bet Week 18 games and you're looking to take advantage of motivational discrepancy like this game, take the Bucs in the first quarter, take the Bucs in the first half, because then that removes the variable of their starters playing. It removes the variable of motivation. It removes the variable of trying to extend the lead and all that stuff. More than likely, you won't get a good price on it. More than likely, it'll be, the books aren't asleep. They know they're going to make you pay a tax for this. But if you do want to try and get after these numbers, that's how I would do it. But I'm not, this is a tough market to bet into because 5 years ago, like the incentives and all that stuff was relatively unknown. Now you got clowns on Twitter who are releasing a 15-page Excel document to try and farm engagement and farm cool points instead of keeping their mouth shut and going to the book and, keeping these lines down. But Same with the national anthem. I mean, we deal with it every year in the Super Bowl where somebody gets some intel, they go on Twitter and tell everybody what's going to happen just to get some retweets, and no one can bet it. It makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, they'll probably screw it up again. There's part of me that's like, could that happen? I don't think it will, but they are prone to those just weird, like, what happened to the Buccaneers?
Right.
And if they fire on all cylinders all the time, hell, they're good enough. I had them going to the NFC Championship before the season started. They're good enough to get to the NFC Championship.
They are, yeah.
They're good enough to go into a place like Detroit and Minnesota or win. They gave
last year, they almost beat Detroit. I mean, they are absolutely the Buccaneers. Like, they're say what you want. It's NFC South, and you always obviously like you want the Saints to win the South, and these guys aren't enemies, but they're your divisional rivals. But the Bucs are legit. Like, I probably haven't given the Bucs enough credit because of the NFC South and because of covering the Saints like we do. But I mean, right now, I would say the Bucs are better than Green Bay. Like a team like that. Like, and people think Green Bay's a Super Bowl team, but right now, Baker Mayfield is playing way better than Jordan Love. So yeah, I mean, the Bucs are a legitimate team, and it's crazy to see Baker Mayfield doing this because a lot of people, me included, thought it'd be a big deal to lose Canales, and Baker is better now than last year. Like, he's just getting better and better and better. And it's very similar, I think, to Jared Goff, where you got a guy, well, I mean, Goff's a little bit different. Baker had a few extra down years than Goff did, but you get a guy taken early, a guy who, early as in first overall pick, you get a guy who has relative success with the team that drafted him. Goff went to a Super Bowl. Like, Goff did outduel Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. Goff had success with the Rams, and it just was, no one believed in him. Like, is this really the guy, or is he holding us back? Then obviously the Stafford trade happens, and Detroit, Detroit is who they are now, and Goff is kind of solidified as a dog. But Baker, same thing. Like, he gets drafted to Cleveland. Cleveland's a complete dumpster fire, and all of a sudden Cleveland turns it around, and Baker's got Cleveland in the playoffs, and he's got them right there ready to beat Kansas City in the playoffs. And all of a sudden he gets banged up, has some injuries, and he's a journeyman. And Carolina lets him go. Like, Carolina had him and Sam Darnold in the same quarterback room. Carolina lets him go. The Rams let him go, and he finds his way to Tampa Bay, and all of a sudden he looks like the guy he was in Oklahoma. And after a certain while, like Sam Darnold, right now it's like, is this Sam Darnold? Is this Kevin O'Connell? Is this a combination of the two? Will he drop off next year? But if Darnold does something even better next year, at a certain point you just got to look at it and be like, damn, I mean, okay, like, this guy's good. And I think we can all sit back and say, like, yeah, Baker Mayfield's good. And it's an insane question to think about saying, because you would have never said this before the season. But right now, if I told you could have, moving forward, Baker Mayfield, Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Stroud, or Jordan Love, who are you taking? Who are you taking? Let me know in the comments below. I think right now you take Baker Mayfield over C.J. Stroud, over Jordan Love, over Trevor Lawrence. Definitely over Trevor Lawrence. I threw him in there because he's the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Well, Jordan Love is, but Trevor Lawrence is, 2? So you got a couple of the highest paid guys who are certainly performing worse than Mayfield. And then you have a guy who was the most celebrated rookie last year, who people thought could be the MVP this year, who's having a down year. And, Stroud's stock is obviously down, but Mayfield now 2 years in a row looking pretty damn good. So it's wild stuff. But yeah, Mayfield, he's been insane.
Gave the Lions everything they could handle in the playoffs last year.
They beat them this year.
Bungled the clock management, and the Bucs didn't react the way they should have to have a chance to force overtime in that game, and they beat him in week 2. They beat him in Detroit week 2. So, the Buccaneers are legit if they can avoid pissing down their leg against the Saints.
Yo, homies, thanks for watching. Yeah, it's...
What the hell am I watching? What is going on Sunday Night Football, NFL, and NBC? Is this what Peacock is all about? What the hell? I mean, I got Florio cursing up a storm. I got Sims yo-yo-yoing me. Is this a joke? Is this what it's like outside of my channel. Thank God. Thank you, God. Thank God. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the mic, giving me the camera, and letting me post every day, multiple times a day, so that everyone can watch something else besides this. Can you imagine going to work? Can you imagine going to work, going to the office like this hombre in the back? Horrific posture. Can you imagine this guy going to work, and he's probably marketing or something for Peacock or whatever the show, or you know, and he's got to sit here and he's got to walk past posters of Chris Sims' podcast logo, and he's got to hear Sims say yo yo yo, and then he's got to drive home, stop at the gas station, buy a bottle of malt liquor, drink it in the parking lot, drive home. There's another gas station, stop at that one also, buy another bottle of malt liquor, drink that, just so we can feel something instead of nothing like usual. Sad. Anyways, let me know in the comments below what you think. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.